Hello. Thank you for those who attended and participated in our first virtual Canadian trade mission. If you missed it, you can watch it here. Every segment will be timestamped so that you can go to the segment that you would like to watch, and we'll also include the participants' information at the bottom of the screen. We hope you enjoy it.
Good morning. I'm Donnie Martinez, President of the Osceola County Association of Realtors. On behalf of the Board of Directors and our more than 4,800 members, welcome to our first virtual trade mission. Today's event is hosted by our Global Alliance Committee, whose mission is to raise awareness among members of the impact and opportunity of international real estate. They find resources and tools for our members to grow their business internationally. Today's event does just that. We put together a video to tell you about our association. Let's take a look.
The Osceola County Association of Realtors has been helping realtors and brokers of Central Florida since 1924. During this time, we have seen Osceola County evolve from an agricultural community to the heartbeat of the Central Florida economy. And the Osceola County Association of Realtors has always been an important resource for realtors and brokers in Osceola and the surrounding area. We love to educate our members so that they are always at the top of their game, especially when it comes to tourism and vacation homes. Did you know that Osceola County attracts over 3.5 million vacation home renters a year? And those 3.6 million renters spend $1,100 on average each year, contributing over $4 billion to the local economy. Osceola vacation home renters average longer stays than in any of the surrounding counties. Osceola County also has a young, diverse population, resulting in a stable workforce for business developments. Once Brightline opens, Osceola and the rest of Central Florida will be connected to the Miami metro area via high-speed rail. With our stunning ecological beauty, amazing area attractions, and forward-thinking developments, Osceola County is on track to be the economic heartbeat for the state of Florida.
We're proud of the work we do here at the association. In closing, I would like to thank the Trade Mission Subcommittee and especially Imran Mohammed, who led the efforts. We appreciate you being here today and hope you enjoy the rest of the event.
Hi, I'm Margy Grant, CEO of Florida Realtors, Florida's largest trade association with more than 200,000 members. As one of our largest trade partners, Florida has a proud history with our Canadian partners. In the past 10 years alone, Florida has seen more than a 10% increase in our trade with Canada. Canada accounts for almost 45,000 jobs statewide, with the largest investments in manufacturing, construction, real estate, the information sector, finance, transportation, and warehousing. Florida Realtors congratulates the Osceola Association of Realtors for their innovative effort to unite Central Florida with our Canadian counterparts. I encourage you all to enjoy today as you listen, learn, and plan future successful transactions. As we meet virtually today, we are so excited to look forward to August, when we plan to welcome you all home to our in-person convention right here in Orlando on August 25th and 26th. For registration information, please visit www.floridarealtors.org, where information will be posted by the end of the week. Enjoy your program.
Hey guys, my name's Tim Weisheyer. I am the Secretary of Florida Realtors here based in Central Florida, proud to be a member of the Osceola County Association of Realtors. And in truth, it's my pleasure to speak with you why I believe investing, living, and even playing right here in Central Florida is so incredibly important. Now, originally, I'm actually from Long Island, New York, but we choose to call Central Florida our home because why wouldn't we? Not only do we sell sunshine, but we also have one of the most vibrant economies, not just in the country, but in truth, across the globe right here in the state of Florida. Now, when you think about investing in real estate in Florida, we know we have beaches, we know we have theme parks, we know we have sunshine, and there is so much to offer in our very diverse economy and ecology within the state. But one of the things that's really interesting is Florida Realtors commissioned a study about 2 years ago now with the University of Central Florida. And part of that study was looking at the overall economic impact of the short-term vacation rental market in the economy in the state of Florida. And this may or may not surprise you, but actually Osceola County was recognized as one of the hottest, most dynamic real estate markets anywhere on the planet for short-term vacation rentals. The reason why is pretty self-explanatory. We have over 100 million visitors per year that come to Florida. In fact, most of them come right here to Central Florida. We are the epicenter of tourism and of the hospitality industry. In fact, we are known as the epicenter for all things related to tourism, and we offer and we lend that back to our friends at Walt Disney World and the impact of the mouse right here in our area. But beyond that, we're centrally located. Right now, Florida has what's called the Brightline, which is being built, will connect people from Central Florida down to South Florida. So why wouldn't you want to buy a home here in Central Florida, take advantage of everything that we have to offer with all the theme parks and amusement parks that exist, be within 50 minutes of the East Coast, an hour and a half of the West Coast of the state of Florida, to be on the Gulf of Mexico or in the Atlantic Ocean, or choose to jump on the Brightline once it opens and take a trip down to South Florida and enjoy all that is available there. Look, I can go on and on about why investing in Central Florida is smart for so many reasons, but there's something else to note as well. We're one of the hottest real estate markets in the country. We have one of the strongest economies in the country. We have a governor that is very intentional about saying to people, come to Florida, invest in Florida, and we will make sure that we create a good economic landscape for everybody. Our real estate value is hot, our markets are increasing, and everyone knows that Florida is a great place not just to call home, but also to use for a second home. So I'd love to help you come to Florida, connect with our organization, connect with our members, and learn of all the great value and benefits that can come to you by being an investor in the Sunshine State.
Good morning, bonjour, Canadian friends. Greetings from Florida Realtors. My name is Maria Grulich, and I'm the Global Business Director. Florida Realtors values our partnership with all of our Canadian friends. Canada, as you know, is our #1 international market. Missions like this bring us together to provide opportunities of collaboration, learning, and referrals. A big thank you to Osceola Association of Realtors for inviting me to join you today, and we look forward to being able to see you in person soon.
Thank you so much, Maria. And we're going to have her live in just a few minutes, but I would like to introduce her. Maria Grulich serves as the Director of Global Business for Florida Realtors. She oversees and develops all global initiatives and programs for Florida Realtors, advising and supporting Realtor members and association board staff on global matters and markets at the local, state, and federal levels. We are so lucky to have her in person with us today. Hi, Maria.
Hi, Twist. Thank you so much for having me. This is amazing. Congratulations on a fabulous trade mission to you and Emrod. I'm thrilled to be here with our Canadian friends and our Florida friends talking about this great partnership.
So, Maria, tell us what new global initiatives at Florida Realtors that you're working on.
Oh, I'm happy to. We've done tons of things to connect with our Canadian partners, so I thought I'd mention some of that. We did a trade mission where we actually not only included our Canadian friends and associations like TREB and CREA and Manitoba, but we also included cross-border associations like ARIA and FIAPSI and some of the others, and a well-known chef, Chef Latoya, to teach us some good cooking techniques while we were learning about each other and sharing. But what we have going forward is continuing to connect virtually, while of course we're going to also connect hopefully soon in person. We have a trade mission with Argentina coming up on May 27th, open to all our Canadian friends and our Florida friends for free. And they can all register at floridarealtors.org/Argentina. And we're going to learn about what Argentina has to offer. We also have another exciting program, again, open to everyone. And I know, Twist, that you and your organization are a key partner in our efforts in this. And that is, we have Terry Morrison, who's well known for kiss, bow, and shake hands. And she is going to do a diversity, equity, and inclusion program, but it's going to be touching on the cultures. And the importance of that is we're all on Zooms like we are right now, and we don't realize how much we're really communicating with others through our eyes, through our facial expressions, you know, how we sit, how we communicate. So she's gonna talk a little bit about that. And she's gonna mention Canada, because I did tell her that Canada is our largest trade partner in real estate and in commercial real estate too. So residential and commercial, which a lot of people don't realize that. You are our number1 trade partner. So
That's great.
looking
And
forward to a lot of good
Maria, you
things.
mentioned your trade mission, and I did participate in that. It was a lot of great information.
Thank
We're
you.
happy to be partnering too with this upcoming event as well.
Yes.
Okay, Maria, I know you have been instrumental in working those MOUs with Canada and other countries. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the tangible results we've seen so far from that?
Absolutely. We're going to continue forging those relationships. And that's something that we took on this year and said, you know what, not only just create new relationships, but strengthen the ones we have. So we have been working diligently with TREB. We're getting ready to renew our relationship with CREA. We have an MOU in place that we're getting ready to sign off on. And then we have others. And what we're doing is connecting our MOUs to others that we have MOUs with. For instance, Argentina, Mexico, inviting our members to connect with each other. We feel that's really, really important. The other thing too is we are continuing to do the things that we did pre-COVID, but in a virtual situation. For instance, the Conference of Montreal is coming up. We'll be doing that virtually and participating. The Conference of Toronto, that will be coming up, and we're still going to participate in that, even though it's virtual, because we want to maintain those partnerships, those relationships. You're going to see us do even more virtual trade missions. We really feel that once we can connect with each other, we'll still be connecting, but we're still going to be doing a lot virtually, because look how far of a reach we can have if we connect virtually and then in person. So these are the kind of opportunities and things that we have. And I know that Margy, our CEO, mentioned our upcoming convention, and we always have a booth at that convention, as you know, you and Twist know, and we are inclusive. So we always invite our associations to participate. So I think you're going to see in 2022, a lot of these associations say, hey, we want to be in your booth. We don't charge. We want to be able to connect with others. So that's what we're doing right now. Very exciting times.
That's great, Maria. We have one last question for you, and it's about partnerships. So what partnerships have been formed with Canadian companies that you feel will benefit Florida Realtor members?
I believe there's several. One is I mentioned CREA, the Canadian Realtors. I mentioned TREB, the Toronto Realtors. I mentioned Manitoba. I also know that you have Enterprise Florida here and their rep from Canada. We work closely with the Canadian Consulate and also the agents from Ontario. And what that is doing is connecting us to more opportunities. Those partnerships are key, because real estate, if you look at real estate really is about relationships. So if we can continue forging relationships with partners, that leads to more opportunities for our members. This past year, Canadians purchased $3.2 billion worth of real estate. So these connections that we're having, that we're forging, are helping us help our members so that they can stay connected, build relationships, but also build referrals. So that is what we're doing and going to continue to do, is to partner with local associations like Osceola, and then our associations in Canada and all over the world, to continue those opportunities for everybody.
Thank you so much, Maria. We truly appreciate the support of Florida Realtors and all you do to help us with our global efforts. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much, Twist. And I'm looking forward to an amazing event today. Thank you so much.
So the next part of our program, I'm going to turn over to Emron. We want to tell you what we're expecting out of today's program, what you can get and gain from the knowledge and expertise of the individuals that are participating.
Thank you, Twiz, and welcome and good morning to all. Osceola County Association of Realtors, OSCA, is headquartered in Osceola County in Central Florida. With over 4,800 members, we are the largest trade organization in the county, and the reach of our members extends across the entire Central Florida region and beyond. Again, welcome to this, our first virtual inbound Canadian trade mission. And this follows our 2019 outbound trade mission, which was a huge success. Today, we intend to demonstrate to our participants how through cross-border cooperation, we can strengthen each other's businesses, deliver quality products and services to clients, and provide winning solutions. This is Mission Possible, and we are licensed to tell. The real estate industry is unique in that no other industry fosters cooperation of its workforce and competitors, both domestically and internationally, to serve the common good of their customers as we do. When you succeed, others succeed also. A rising tide lifts all boats. Despite the pandemic, in an operating market that is considered the vacation capital of the world, the Central Florida area continues to be a hotbed of real estate activities. I know that is also a crazy market in Canada, but the best time to grow and develop an additional revenue stream is when you and your business is doing well. Creating a passive income model, building professional networks, etc., will serve both new and experienced agents well. As we climb out of the pandemic, we expect to see sustained growth in activities with a robust resumption of activities that were put on hold. The fundamental underpinnings of the Central Florida market are strong. Had Henry Ford asked the people what they wanted, they probably would have said a faster horse. I am sure we are all thankful for his ability and foresight to think outside the box. As professionals, as real estate practitioners, we too must create that vision for our customers that will allow them to leave the shores to see a new horizon. According to latest data from 2019, approximately 76 million visitors came to Central Florida. That equates to roughly twice the entire population of Canada. Canadians themselves accounted for about 3.1 million. The country that holds first place in terms of foreign-owned investment properties in Central Florida is also Canada. Canadians own roughly 10,000 properties, of over which 25% is in Osceola County. The economies that make for solid strategic real estate investing can all be found in our area. Excellent transportation networks, from roads to airports to trains. Tourism due to our world-renowned Disney theme parks and other major attractions. A mix of jobs ranging from the service and hospitality industry to high-tech medical, technology, animation, automation, aerospace, etc. Availability of land space to facilitate growth. Top universities and colleges. Lovely climate. World-renowned beaches within relatively easy reach. And to top it off, real estate that is still at moderate and attractive prices. Join us as we hear from the leaders of some of our area's top companies. Learn about the dynamic landscape that will nurture great investment opportunities. Learn more about the opportunities to expand and open pathways to grow your individual businesses. The fireside chat session at the end will help with addressing some questions you may have about the way real estate is transacted in Florida. Stay with us to the end to find out if you are the lucky winner of a 5-night stay at one of our fantastic vacation resorts. We are truly a diverse group of agents at Oscar, and very well trained, experienced, and so forth. Oscar is considered by NAR to be a big association, but we are not too big for you to get lost. We are very personable, and our wonderful CEO and staff and members will surely make you feel comfortable and welcome. We have received the Diamond Award from the National Association of Realtors for our efforts in the global real estate arena. From a total of 1,100 associations, less than 10 have earned that recognition, and we are proud of it. I hope that today's efforts on behalf of Oscar's Global Alliance Committee will enlighten, motivate, and it will lead to the strengthening of cross-border relationships, both from an individual and an organizational perspective. This is mission possible, and we are licensed to tell. Thank you.
Very well said, Emron. We appreciate your thoughtful words.
Thank you.
Before we move on to our next segment, we are going to do a gift card drawing, one of 4 today, for $50 Visa, MasterCard, and American Express gift cards. We do want to do a really quick poll just to kind of see who our audience is. You should see on your screen right now, there's a survey with 5 questions. If you could just take a few minutes to answer these questions, that would be great. The first question is, have you ever attended an outbound trade mission? Yes or no? The second question, have you ever done a referral with a Florida agent? The third question, what aspects of Florida real estate would like to learn more about? You can check more than one. The fourth question, how likely are you to seriously consider developing a second revenue stream using the cross-border referrals process? And the fifth question, how did you hear about our virtual trade mission? We would love for you to take a moment and answer those questions so that we can learn more about our audience. And while you're doing that, I am going to tell you about the gift card drawing. Like I mentioned, we have 4 $50 Visa, MasterCard, American Express cards. And at the very end of the program, as Emron mentioned, special for our Canadian viewers, we have a 5-night stay. It is being donated by Magic Development. They serve as a vital industry partner, a member of our association, and we are fortunate to have them here also with us today making a presentation. So we're going to go ahead and end that poll right now. Thank you those that participated in that. We'll be launching those results later, but right now let's go ahead and do our first drawing for a $50 gift card. A random system, and the winner is Lorena Cabell Espina. So Lorena, congratulations, you have won a $50 gift card. It will be a Visa gift card. So the next portion of our agenda is going to give you some specific information on the Central Florida market. It's an overview. And then we have government officials that would like to tell you about Neo City, which is a vibrant project that is here in Osceola County. Let's take a look.
Brandon Arrington, Chairman of the Osceola County Board of County Commissioners, and we're pleased you're interested in learning more about Osceola County, a place I've been proud to call home my entire life. Despite the hardships brought upon the world by COVID-19, Osceola County is poised for recovery for everyone, with the important Central Florida tourism economy rebounding and more people getting vaccinated and feeling confident to return to the way of life was before the pandemic. The economic outlook for Osceola is looking brighter every day.
Hello, I'm Cheryl Grieb, and I'm a county commissioner here in Osceola County, but I'm also a local realtor. And I'm here today with County Manager Don Fisher, and we're here to talk to you about some very special things going on in Osceola County.
Yeah, thanks, Commissioner. Osceola County is one of the fastest growing counties in the United States. Forbes ranks us about the fourth fastest, primarily because we have 10 times more land in our urban growth boundary than the rest of Central Florida. But now we're here to talk to you about our favorite project from economic development perspective, Neo City.
Is a 500-acre development that the county has invested over $100 million to date so far, and over $300 million community-wide, correct, Don?
That's right. Yeah, there's a great location for the property. It's 20 minutes from the Orlando International Airport, 50 minutes from Port Canaveral, right next to Florida's Turnpike and US 192.
So we're going to take you through a little bit of what's already been developed in this 500-acre site. So the first building that was completed was a 100,000 square foot fab that we call the Center for Neovation. And Don, this is a very unique building because I understand it's built on the third largest waffle slab in the world, which helps to absorb vibration. And why is that important?
Well, that's right, Commissioner. It's important because they're dealing with products that are 100th time the diameter of a human hair, semiconductors. And we know that semiconductors are all kinds of cars, cell phones, and lots of tech things throughout the world.
And we have in this fab, you'll have companies like LG, Harris, Samsung operating side by side. It's kind of, I liken it to more like where you have a startup tech firm, but without the startup. We have existing companies that are already established in the community and dealing again in high tech and semiconductors.
Yeah, that's right. These facilities are very expensive to build. It's like $750 a square foot without all the equipment into it. So only Intel, Apple, Google can really afford these. But this provides us a platform for thousands of companies to get access to this very important equipment to develop their ideas into commercial products.
So then the next building that the county invested in was the 100,000 square foot Class A office building. And it's basically 4 floors, 25,000 square feet. And I know we have some existing tenants, some international tenants, and also some space still available.
Yeah, that's right, Commissioner. We have on the first floor Skywater Technologies have expanded from Minneapolis into Kissimmee. And we also have IMEC, which is a Belgium company that deals in designs of semiconductors, the architecture behind those units that go into our devices.
So we're also seeing a lot of these solar panels and things of that sort in the video that we're showing all the folks right now. And my understanding is this is designed as one of the first greenfield smart cities.
Yeah, well, this was master planned by Perkins & Will, an international planning firm, with the idea that it could be a greenfield from a smart city component perspective. Most of the time you hear smart cities, you're trying to retrofit an existing buildings. This is from the ground up. And one of the unique things is that Neo City Academy, a public school on site with about 500 students, it is the only net zero energy consumption school public facility that we know of in the country.
Wow, and that school has already received international accolades as well, so that's tremendous. And the kids have to compete in order to even be able to go there.
That's right. Yeah, the 70,000 students in the school system, only about 500 to get in.
And they'll be able to work side by side with the folks that are working in the fab, so have some hands-on true STEM education.
One of the unique things, Secretary Wilbur Ross, when he was under the Trump administration, visited the facility, and he thought the fabrication facility was great, but he loved the high school because it is training young people to work in the semiconductor industry, which is very important to the United States.
Well, talking about being important in the United States, we also have landed a couple of Department of Defense contracts, is my understanding, where we'll have products being worked on right in our fab.
Yes, we will. So there's $30 million worth of Department of Defense contracts have been awarded so far, with the capacity for potentially another $30 million. What they're doing is taking microelectronic semiconductors and packaging them, which has become very important to the United States as it tries to remain competitive in the semiconductor world.
And what's real important about that is the supply chain that goes along with it. As we mentioned earlier, it's a 500-acre site. We still have about 250 acres available. Infrastructure's in place. It is pad ready and be sold in 5-acre increments. Manufacturing and distribution. There's also a mixed use portion. We're also showing you about a 150-acre pond that's designed with a 5K that goes around the perimeter. And this will be used for reuse, but also help clean the water out of Lake Toho. So it serves several purposes. And I know we also have some incentives for the county to bring in certain types of developments or certain type of businesses.
Yes, Commissioner. So you get access to the state incentives, but what makes this property unique, Neo City unique, is that we own it without any debt, meaning that we can leverage the value of the property to make very favorable negotiations with a company that might want to come in and build their next manufacturing facility, something that private development can't necessarily do.
So with this, gosh, who wouldn't want to live, work, and play right here in Neo City?
Couldn't agree more, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We want to thank the Osceola County Board of County Commissioners Chairman Brandon Arrington, County Manager Don Fisher, and Commissioner Cheryl Grieb for participating in today's event. Commissioner Grieb has always been a supporter of not just the association, but global. And she also has been a past president here, so very active with our association. So switching gears, we are going to turn to Canada. We have a special guest with us from CREA, and before I introduce her, we'll want to show a quick video.
In real estate, connections mean opportunities. Making global connections can increase valuable referral opportunities and grow your business internationally. With the Canadian Real Estate Association's global affiliates, get access to a network of globally minded Canadian realtors and open the door to CREA's active global realtor directory. Increased exposure for referrals, plus many more benefits. Because in the end, being a successful real estate professional isn't about where you are on the map. It's about the connections you have across it. Become a CREA Global affiliate. www.creaglobal.ca.
Years ago, when we were in Canada, Arron and I had the opportunity to meet Sharon von Schoenberg. She serves as the Global Strategy and Relations Manager for CREA. She's been a huge asset to us, and we wanted to invite her today so that she could share some more information with you about CREA. Before I turn this over to her, I wanted to give you a quick bio. So Sharon does oversee the successful execution of CREA's international strategy to increase global opportunities for realtors and global relations for the association. Her initiatives include the Global Affiliate Program, building relationships with international associations and trade-related organizations, developing educational opportunities for members, and increasing the relevancy of Realtor for global visitors. Prior to joining CREA, Sharon was a Canadian residential appraiser and held marketing and client management positions in the private and nonprofit sector. She also holds a Bachelor of Commerce from the University of Ottawa. Thank you so much, Sharon, for being with us today.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. Although I feel like I'm there. The weather is really nice here in Ottawa, so I feel like I'm right in Florida, right beside you.
I was going to ask you how the weather was up there.
It's gorgeous.
We'd probably
It's like
rather
I'm-
be up there. I think this afternoon it's supposed to rain.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. It's brilliant sunshine today, so I cannot complain. You never know with springtime in Ottawa, we might get snow. Apparently happening in Edmonton and Saskatchewan. So I'm happy to be here in Ontario.
Well, thank you. We did a short little intro as far as what CREA does, but go ahead and give us some examples of some initiatives that you're doing right now.
Great, I'd love to. So as the video showed, one of the big projects I've been working on is our Global Affiliates Program. And really what we're trying to do there is twofold. Educate our own realtors in Canada about the opportunities in cross-border referrals and networks, as well as introducing international real estate professionals to the Canadian realtor and the Canadian real estate market. So, similar to what Maria spoke about earlier at the Canadian Real Estate Association at the national level, I'm doing very similar things. So again, trying to bring education, knowledge, and help grow networks on both sides. events like this, with COVID, as has been alluded to by a few of us here this morning, Zoom and the ability to meet online and extend our reach has really just exploded in the last year. A little more comfort level being online, but reaching really all corners of Canada for me, and internationally all across the US into Greece and beyond. So I think, really it's about what content can we bring. We've signed numerous MOUs, so those are memorandums of understandings with different US global councils over the last year. And then I'm really trying to put some meat on those. So when we sign a memorandum of understanding, what are we doing following that to really bring the network and the knowledge to our on the grounds realtor? And as a national association, I am trying to promote all of Canada, external, and of course promote all of Canada for those coming in. So events like this, one of the big initiatives I think that's happened in our program is I host for our members that are part of my global affiliates, we do market portfolios. And it's a chance for our realtors and those global affiliates that belong to get on camera just like this and share who they are, where they work, what's happening in their market, and highlight some listings. And that's been really popular.
So how many affiliate members do you have with CREA?
So we have just over 1,500 on the Canadian and the US side. With COVID in the last year, of course, I think we all found the first half of the year in 2020 was really retreat. I think for the first few months, at least anyways, we saw a lot of even our own markets retreat. And now we're going gangbuster. So these are people that are committed and say, I'm interested in growing my cross-border. That's both inbound and outbound. And we have an active Facebook group and active those that come online.
So by becoming a member of CREA, what type of benefits do you offer?
So as an affiliate, it's an annual subscription. You have access to all of our webinars, obviously, anything that's been pre-recorded and live. We host as well in-person networking receptions when we're able to do that. So as a global affiliate, the Canadian Real Estate Association hosts a Canadian reception at the National Association of Realtors event, and that attracts hundreds. I think there was 600 at our last one, and you have a special invite to that. Any other receptions that we're holding at in-person events. So Realtor Quest, I think Maria spoke to how we partnered in Toronto. And again, those are open to our global affiliates and to our Canadian realtors that are there. And then we're just keep growing. So of course, our directory. So as you join, we have what's called a global directory. And if you're a global affiliate or a Canadian realtor, you're highlighted in there. You have the ability to upload a little spotlight video. You can search and download contacts from there. And numerous resources that we put together to educate yourself on the Canadian market as well.
So those that are listening today that maybe want to become a member, are there certain criteria in order to have membership?
So with CREA Global, it's really that you are part of the National Association of Realtors or FIAPSI or ARIA. Other than that, you are a practicing realtor and you're keen to grow your global business and learn. We do promote the CIPS designation. You do not need to be a CIPS to be a member, but we do highly recommend as you're growing your global business that you engage in that designation. But for us, it's about those that are interested and keen. How can we help you grow your network in one place, regardless of brand? And from there, it's really helping you connect. And then how do you work those networks and get to know each other to feel comfortable about sending a referral down?
Yeah, when we went to
Or
Canada
up, I
a few
should
years
say.
ago, Arron, it was amazing to learn about all of the great benefits and initiatives that CREA was doing.
Yeah, and I myself am a member of your CREA Global network, and there are a lot of great information, people that you meet through your network that will help anyone looking to grow their business, especially with Canadian agents. So great job.
Good, thank you.
Mhm.
I think one thing that I've learned with this program and just as I've been working in this global space for our members, it's really keen that they get the information. So events like this are so important. And the fact that you are recording and people can watch it later that couldn't maybe be here live, but it's gaining, I get a lot of questions about how do I grow my global network? it's events like this, it's being part of that community, it's taking a step. So I often say, well, how do you grow your referrals locally? It's very similar when you want to grow them internationally. You need to know about the culture, the place, whether they're coming as an inbound or you're sending someone outbound, that you're comfortable referring. What do you know about that referral agent? And how do you really educate yourself? And there's so much information now. One of the things I'm looking to do is really, how do we better share content between our MOU partners? So I might have had, Osceola speak to us about real estate in Florida and particularly in your state. And then how can I share that out even to my other MOU partners, so that that wealth of knowledge, and we're not doing all the same thing and I don't need to repeat it if it's been done. How do we share that content? And so as an association too, sometimes our realtors forget to check what we're doing, in that respect. We're their association. They think of us perhaps on advocacy and other things, but in business as well. What is it we're trying to do to help maintain that professionalism and knowledge? And so to check back with us on what we're doing. So I'm one of my goals this year is to really build on the MOUs we've signed in that content sharing and getting information out.
I think you have a road trip coming up. Did I read something about a road trip?
Yes. So over the last year, the Canadian Real Estate Association has been invited to speak at a few events just like this. And we are really looking to engage our provincial association. So we're running a Great Canadian Road Trip, and it starts on June 8th. And we have 5 stops. There'll be 3 in June and 2 in the fall. And we'll be highlighting our provinces. So it's really come on and listen to what's happening in each of our provinces in Canada, what you may or may not know about them from an economic development investment as well as real estate. It's free for everyone. We encourage everyone to join. I do have a slide there, just getting my perfect. So if you will just engage with me here for a moment. You can see the dates there. I will put the link in the chat box, but it's the Great Canadian Road Trip. So it's www.crea.ca/Great Canadian Road Trip. And here we're partnering with all of our provinces across Canada to highlight what's happening there. So we will have as I said, some of the economic, we'll have local realtors, the presidents of provincial associations and others sharing what's going on. So it's really, we want to highlight each of our provinces. It's our first collaborative effort with all of our provincial associations. So I'm really excited. Unlike the US, global in Canada, we don't have many US global councils. So here at the Canadian Real Estate Association, we're trying to highlight each of our provinces and are excited to work with them. So we hope many of your Floridians will join us.
Sure.
Arron, I see a road trip in our future.
I know, right?
We'll sign up right after.
We will have trivia and fun. Unfortunately, I won't have road snacks for everyone because it's really difficult to send food cross-border, but we do encourage you to grab your favorite snack and join us.
Well, we will definitely do that. Thank you so much, Sharon. And you were so nice to do a video ahead of time. Due to time constraints, we weren't able to show the entire video, but would you be okay if we posted that on our YouTube channel so that viewers here could log in and get more information on CREA?
Sure. Yeah, I hope it went well. That was hard.
It was a great video with a lot of information. We just didn't have enough time today to go through the entire program.
Perfect.
Thank
and
you
I have
again,
some
Sharon.
questions in the chat. I'm just responding to them. So yeah, thanks again for having me and really for helping promote that cross-border family. As you've mentioned, Florida is huge for Canadians, and also to remember that Floridians do buy in Canada as well. And the US is our biggest partner as well and biggest purchaser of residential real estate in Canada. There's always spot 1 and 2 is China and US. And I learned a term this year was swelter birds. So swelter birds come to Canada to cool off. So hi, everyone. It's Sharon von Schomburg here with the Canadian Real Estate Association. And I want to thank you very much for having me part of your program. For those of you who may not be familiar with us, the Canadian Real Estate Association is the national association for realtors in Canada, similar to your National Association of Realtors. Our office is in Ottawa, Ontario, and we operate in much the same way. We're a 3-tiered. Can I go back?
Yeah, go ahead.
I took it out because I just edited. I took out the slide I thought I would leave in. Okay. I'm going to go again, and then you can piece it together, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you're the best. Okay, here we go again. Okay. Hi, everyone. It's Sharon von Schoenberg here with the Canadian Real Estate Association, and I'm excited to be part of this Mission Possible cross-border intrigue with Osceola County Association of Realtors. For those of you who are not familiar with the Canadian Real Estate Association, we are just like NAR, but we're here in Canada. We represent over 135,000 real estate agents, brokers across Canada through over 85 real estate boards and associations. So similar to National Association of Realtors, our realtors belong at the local level, at our provincial level, and then with us at the Canadian Real Estate Association, representing national initiatives. Something a little bit unique to us, CREA owns and operates Realtor.ca. Realtor.ca is the #1 platform for Canadian real estate. All of our realtors listings are uploaded to Realtor.ca. So no matter where you're looking across the country, you will find listings from all of our realtors. This is all included in their national dues to us. Currently with COVID and the pandemic, the number of listings are down on Realtor.ca, just like everywhere else. Buying frenzy going on, and supply is a bit of an issue. Typically on Realtor.ca, you would find over 350,000 listings. Currently, we're up to 205. And when COVID first hit in spring of 2020, we were down under 200,000. One thing I wanted to mention, Realtor.ca over the pandemic saw a 37% increase in international activity. And of that activity, 56% came from the United States. Overall, 7% of our traffic on Realtor.ca does come from the international market. In this slide, I just wanted to share a little bit of a breakdown of where people are searching. So from the US, to no surprise, very similar to our international clients, our consumers looking, Ontario, BC, Alberta, Quebec are the main states that are searched on Realtor.ca for incoming traffic. In addition, here at CREA, under our global umbrella, which is what I oversee, we also run an international activity survey in Canadian real estate. So similar to NAR's, and I believe at the state level, Florida does a similar survey. We were in the field from January 1st, 2020 to December 2020, and are just finalizing the report of 2020. To no surprise, as I'm sure many of you had experienced early on in the pandemic, there was a bit of a decrease in international activity, but we still saw some inbound traffic to Canada. The slide you're seeing here is the origin of our major international buyers to Canada. We started doing the survey in 2018, actually, but what I'm showing you here is in 2019, you can see China and US are the top 2 investors in Canadian real estate. In 2019, as the graph shows, United States actually was a little bit higher than China. It was in the #1 spot. But regardless, pandemic year or non-pandemic year, we see a lot of investment coming from US into Canada. And similar to what we see on our Realtor.ca site, the main provinces being searched and bought in continue to be Ontario, BC, Alberta, Quebec. And over here, you can see Nova Scotia. Those are on our East Coast, a lot of cottage properties and oceanfront there. And in line with the NAR study, Canadians on the external spent $9.5 billion outside of Canada, according to the NAR research. Our own research showed us in 2020 with the pandemic year that actual purchases by Canadians outside of Canada was down. And so the pandemic did have an impact. And I think you're all familiar and we're aware with our borders closed and still closed, this had an impact. But anecdotally, in the last few months from the numerous sessions, just like this one, and with RBC sessions, we're hearing that Canadians are ready and looking to buy external once again. There's been an increase in pre-approvals, especially in late December and early on in the new year here. And we also know that Canadians saved over 180 billion Canadian in excess savings over the pandemic year. So I think real estate will be right up there and we'll see that outbound traffic going. The next slide I'm going to put on is speaks really to our global affiliates program. So I'm going to show the video and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about it. And here we go.
In real estate, connections mean opportunities. Making global connections can increase valuable referral opportunities and grow your business internationally. With the Canadian Real Estate Association's global affiliates, get access to a network of globally minded Canadian realtors and open the door to CREA's active global realtor directory. Increased exposure for referrals, plus many more benefits. Because in the end, being a successful real estate professional isn't about where you are on the map. It's about the connections you have across it. Become a CREA Global affiliate. www.creaglobal.ca.
So there you have it. If you're looking to connect and grow your Canadian cross-border referrals, both in and out, as you can see, there's inbound opportunities and outbound. We'd love to hear from you and have you as a global affiliate of the Canadian Real Estate Association. That short video quickly spoke to some of the resources and asset pieces in the program. So I'm quickly just going to go over these. Once you join, of course, a profile is so important. Who you are, where you are, you can search that. And the same on the Canadian side, where our Canadians are located. You can search by city, designation, language, and much more. You can link it with all of your social media sites, website. You can email directly from the site, and you have the opportunity to upload a short video about yourself, further identifying who you are and what you represent in your market. Here, we're trying to help you build networks of potential referral partners here in Canada and even across the US, as we do have affiliates across the US and worldwide. Some of the other things we do, a lot of monthly emails to keep you updated on what's happening in the Canadian market, international events that we're aware of. We like to highlight those. We put on monthly webinars. Every other month is a webinar where our global affiliates or our members can showcase their market. So it's time for you to get on, just like I'm doing, and share with me who you are, where you work, what market you represent, and you can even highlight some listings. We produce numerous resources all around Canadian real estate. So you may have someone who's thinking about BC and maybe they don't know the difference between British Columbia and Alberta. We've got some market snapshots that highlight some of the economic data around those provinces and mesh in with our real estate data. These have just all been recently updated and are on the CREA Global website once you're an affiliate. And I'd love to share more about our wonderful country and how our Canadians love Florida. But at this point, I'd really like to invite you to join our event in June. And each of our provincial associations will be highlighting their provinces, what's happening in the real estate market. They'll give a quick update. It's been interesting in each province over the pandemic year and moving into 2021. They'll share some information on top foreign or international investors on the commercial side, and we'll have some fun trivia along the way. So it will not be a boring road trip, and I hope you'll join us. The events are free. The registration link is at the top of your screen, and we welcome you to join us. And finally, just thank you from me, Sharon. Here's my coordinates. If you're interested in the Global Affiliate Program or any of the events I mentioned, just drop me a line. The easiest email to remember is global@crea.ca because my last name can be a bit of a mouthful, but there it is on screen. And again, I thank you all. And I just really like this quote that we use in our program. In the end, being a successful real estate professional is not about where you are on the map, but the connections you have across it. So I look forward to meeting with each of you, hopefully in person soon, perhaps at the NAR November conference. And until then, we have this virtual connection. Thanks so much.
Our next segment is on Enterprise Florida. And with us today, we have Hesam Houryaband as a Deputy Director of Enterprise Florida. He has extensive and richly varied background in international political and diplomatic affairs, as well as public relations, marketing, and customer service. He's been serving as Deputy Director with Enterprise Florida since 2018. And because of his previous experience as an in-market representative for other international economic development organizations, he was onboarded to assist Canadian companies with their expansion strategy towards the state of Florida and identification of trade opportunities and foreign direct investment to Florida. He has a Master of Arts in International Relations and Diplomacy, an honorary PhD in International Relations, as well as a doctorate auditor in international relations and diplomacy. Wow, that was a mouthful. Before we speak directly to Hesam, he did tape a segment for us that we'd like to show you.
Hello, my name is Hesam Houryaband. I'm Deputy Director of the Enterprise Florida office in Toronto, Canada. Enterprise Florida is the principal economic development organization for the state of Florida, responsible for trade and investment. With the 18 international offices in our network, we cover all of the globe. And we help companies in our jurisdiction expand and trade with Florida. So as you may be well aware, Florida is the fourth largest economy in the US and the 18th largest economy in the world. Within our international offices, we are tasked with working with companies in our jurisdiction to expand and set up in Florida, and vice versa. We're tasked with helping Floridian companies expand to international markets and find trading partners. With regards to Canada, it is one of the most important trading partners for the state of Florida. It is actually the second biggest export partner, and the bilateral trade relationship totals approximately $8 billion in annual trade. Canada is the second largest destination for Florida origin exports, and it is the third largest import partner for Florida with almost $4.5 billion of goods annually. There are currently more than 500 Canadian-owned businesses in Florida, employing more than 45,000 Floridians in different locations around the state of Florida. Some of the services that Enterprise Florida offers to Canadian businesses looking to expand to Florida are confidential site selection, property search assistance, industry sector expertise, demographic and workforce information, permitting and regulatory assistance, as well as incentive programs. We also liaise with different partners on the ground to make sure that you are embedded locally in the respective market in Florida. We have been present in Canada for more than a decade, building relationships with public and private partners across the country. We look forward to enhance the working relationship with the Canadian business leaders and community to provide support and assistance in helping Canadian businesses expand and flourish in Florida. We thank Canadians for their continued support and interest in Florida and look forward to assisting you.
Thank you so much. And we are honored today to have Hesam with us in person. There you are. Hey,
Thank you
Hesam.
so much, Therese. Thank you, Imran. It's great to be here. And thank you for having Enterprise Florida Canada office be part of this event.
In 2019, when we went to Canada, Imran and I met you. It was a great relationship that we've kept up ever since. And when we called to ask you to participate in today's inbound mission, you said absolutely.
Definitely. It's always a pleasure to be working with yourself and Imran. Again, like I said, this is why we do what we do, to network with organizations such as the Osceola County Association of Realtors, to make sure that the companies that we work with and individuals that we work with here in Canada have a great partner like yourself in Florida.
I always like to say that Hesam knows everybody,
He does.
because we had the initial meeting with him and he said, oh, you got to meet the Ontario General Counsel. He'd love to participate in your event. And sure enough, you got Jag, who's our next segment, who's coming up. So if you want to know anybody, you want to know Hesam, because he's got the connections.
Thank you. It's always great to be helping people to find the right connection.
And we know you can't talk specifically for confidentiality reasons about specific projects here in Florida, but go ahead and give us a general idea of the projects that you are looking for and what
Sure.
you're working on.
Absolutely. And if I may, I just have a quick presentation. So for the sake of time and context, I'll share some of the relevant information that Enterprise Florida has been undertaking for the past several years. Again, as you saw in the video as well, we have two offices here in Canada, one in Toronto, where I'm based out of, and another one in Montreal. Our main task is to work with Canadian companies and partners to find a home in Florida for their business, for their investment and trade opportunities. And again, with the other 16 offices around the world, that's what we do day in, day out. And just
for reference, these numbers are pre-COVID because as everyone knows, the past year or two has not been the norm and normal. So, pre-COVID, as you can see, Canada is our main partner across all sectors that you can see, from exports to visitors to investment. So, it's important to highlight that our relationship with Canada goes beyond snowbirds, goes beyond real estate. It touches upon all aspects of the economy. And this is why, Florida is flourishing. It's becoming, the fourth largest economy in the US with a great business and tax environment. And this, as you can see here also, the fact that Florida has no personal income tax, the fact that the corporation tax in the state of Florida is 5.5%, which is actually one of the lowest, at least in the southern U.S., makes it a great place to do business and set up shop. I'll touch upon the numbers with regards to obviously our relations with Canada. As you can see here, are highlights of some of the main Canadian companies that are active in Florida right now. As I mentioned before as well in the video, we have more than 500 Canadian businesses that are basically working with their Floridian partners, manufacturing, providing services, etc. And those companies account for more than 45,000 jobs in Florida directly. Again, numbers pre-COVID, it's a huge trade relationship, almost $8 billion in bilateral trade in merchandise. Canada is our top second destination for exports from Florida, and we also import a lot of products from Canada to Florida. Lastly, I wanted to discuss the support services and incentives that the state of Florida offers businesses looking to set up here. Again, we work with all of the counties in Florida to make sure that a business that's looking to settle down here lands in the right place. Also, we work with partners, as I mentioned, such as the Osceola County Association of Realtors, and we're more than happy to facilitate those contacts business leaders might be looking for. Again, our incentive and support programs are wide and varied. It encompasses basically anything from workforce placement to giving you back the sales tax exemptions, any sort of expenses that a company might incur in terms of buying machinery, setting up shop in Florida. You would get those dollars back, as well as a robust research and development tax credit, which is a great tool to have at your disposal. I'll turn it off here. I know we want to save time, so back to you, Tvis.
Thank you, Hesam. That's great information. We'll make sure to get that out to the attendees today, because you had a lot of really good statistics in there. And Hesam is also participating in our Fireside chat this afternoon. Or sorry, not this afternoon. We're gonna be done before noon, right? Ooh, I scared myself and everybody else. It's been a long morning. He will be participating in our Fireside chat in just a few minutes after our presentation. So if you have questions that you want to ask Hesam, please type them into chat or keeping that list, and we will make sure to get those questions to him so that he can answer them. Thank you so much, Hesam.
Thank you.
We are honored today to have Jag Badwal. He is the Ontario Agent General for Trade and Investment Office of the Government of Ontario, Canada. And again, when I reached out to Hesam, he said, oh my goodness, you've got to meet Jag. He's fabulous. We've had a couple of Zoom meetings with him to get ready for this. He's got a wealth of knowledge that he wants to share with you today. So Jag, again, is the Ontario Agent General. He strengthens trade and investment between Ontario, the United States, as well as internationally. He's based in the Consulate General of Canada in Dallas, Texas. He works with various stakeholders and government officials to plan and deliver business development strategies and initiatives for Ontario's priorities related to investment attraction, export promotion, and research and innovation partnerships. Jag represents Ontario in the southern United States, including Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Tennessee, and Texas. Do you have any time to sleep, Jag, between going to all those different states?
Some.
And you were just in Florida last week.
Definitely, yes.
Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you very much, Twist, and thank you, Imran. And it's a great pleasure to be here.
Did you want to share some information with us before we just do kind of an informal chat with you?
Yes, please. Yeah, I'm going to share my screen so I can go through some information about Ontario, and then we can talk a little bit on that. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. Let me just go into the presentation mode. Yeah, quickly, just in interest of the time, and some of the slides I may skip, and Twist and Imran, I will definitely share with you these slides so you can share with the members. But it's such a great pleasure to be here. And of course, always, Twist, you mentioned with Imran, we are a great partner with Enterprise Florida and with Imran also as well. And thank you to Osceola Realtors Association for your invitation. Just give you a little bit on the agenda, what I'm going to talk about. Some of the slides I may go through very quickly in the interest of the time. So I'll just give you information about our office and how does the business landscape look like in Ontario. And then we will talk about Ontario, Florida, and a little bit information about real estate. Just our office is, we're located in Dallas, Texas, but represent about 7 other states. And the main focus for us is to help Ontario companies to grow in the Southern United States and help the companies, especially from the Southern United States and from the US, to grow in Ontario. Give a little bit information about Ontario so that we know exactly the economic structure, what's happening in there. Ontario represents about 40% of Canada's GDP and approximately about 40% of population. And we always stress the strong links for trade and investment with the US. And especially if Ontario, what a country, we will be the 3rd largest trading partner with the US. Our yearly trade with the US is almost about 400 billion. And the trade with Florida is over 5 billion Canadian. This is some of the information that I want to share. One thing is I will share is the timely business intelligence. So if there is a company looking from Southern United States looking to expand into Ontario, what we provide them is a market intelligence report, and so that the decision, better decision can be made. And that will be not including real estate, but also the business cost and related information in any ecosystem they're looking for. This is our value proposition, Ontario's value proposition. I will definitely draw your attention into clean energy. 95% of our energy comes from clean, and the ecosystem that is really a robust ecosystem. And as you know, that the economy, especially in electric vehicles and AV, autonomous connected vehicles, and this is that's where it's going. And the government of Ontario just released a documentation on critical minerals, because in order to have the batteries, we need critical minerals. So that is we are looking 5 to 10 years from now as to how the new economy and how we can accommodate, how we can participate in that. Especially on the realtor side of it, I can share this information that we have some specifically shovel-ready sites. They are ready, and they are ready to go. They have all the permissions, and they have all the environmental assessments. Everything is done. So if you need further information on these sites, please let us know. Especially with Ontario, we have a trade agreement and Canada with 50 other countries. And what does that mean? That you have a global reach to about 1.7 billion more people through Ontario. The quality of life at, see Toronto and Ottawa ranked in the top 20. And when you look at the city side, the Toronto is ranked 7 and the most livable cities in the world. Canadian universities are like an education system is very robust. And when you look within Canada, on the top 10, there are 5 universities from Ontario are in the top 10. And you look at the University of Toronto is the top university when you look at, and throughout the world, we have almost about 10 to 12 universities that are really represented well throughout the world. And University of Waterloo is really coming in the forefront, is the top 40. Just to share a little bit of information, as I shared before, our trade with Florida is about 4.4 billion, is over 5 billion Canadian, and approximately about 900,000 Canadians call Florida for short-term and long-term their home. Half of them are actually from Ontario. If the Ontarians, you ask them which state they know in the US, the top, I can tell you, they know more about Florida than any other state. That tells you a lot of resilience and connections between Ontario and Florida. We have a growing market. We have, we are very close to about 140 million consumers from within a driving distance. We're very globally connected. Having a Pearson International Airport is really a key, and we are connected through that to about 150 countries. And especially when you look at it, on the transportation side, we have 14 border crossings with the US. That leads a lot of trade and investment and close connection with the US. Again, just talking about the international trade, the Pearson was rated the best, largest airport in North America. And from that, you can connect to about 180 different destinations. This was I'll drive a little bit information probably is really important for the realtors. I just want to thank Ontario Real Estate Association and its CEO, Tim Hudak, for providing me this information. He's the one they provided me with this information. So when you look at it, in OREA, we have about 83,000 agents. And especially as you mentioned, Twist, the TREB is one of the largest real estate association. When you look at it in the COVID world, that the prices haven't stopped. When you look at it in April, March, and in the COVID world of this year, the prices have increased about 440% year over from 2020. This trend we are seeing is continuing on. And this is some information overall residential sales in Ontario. When you just pay attention to January, February, or March of this year, it's just on fire. And this one, I will share some information about 4 different jurisdictions that are really key: GTA, Ottawa, Hamilton, and Kitchener-Waterloo. And lastly, some of the cities that I really want to point it out is City of Toronto is the largest hub for ICT, second largest IT clusters in North America, and really a pioneer in AI and tech sector. And City of Niagara Falls is another one that is really a key. It's a wine county, and if you're really into, and that's where the Niagara Falls is. This region is growing really fast, and real estate, if you had invested about 10 years ago for 200 or 250,000, is triple or at least double by now. So that City of Niagara Falls and Niagara Falls is growing very rapidly. And then definitely City of Ottawa. City of Ottawa is key, and especially on the trade and investment side, on 5G network. This is really taking on connected autonomous vehicles is also really important. Also, City of Ottawa. Some of the waterways are. This is where some of the ports are. And I'll share that information on that, because sometimes Hamilton is really the key part of it, but then we also have Kingston, Niagara Falls, and especially in the region of Wallet. So lastly, thank you again. And for Ontario realtors, for Canadian realtors looking to connect with the Florida realtors, or looking into invest in Florida, or Florida realtors and they have their clients looking to invest in Ontario, please don't hesitate to connect with me and also with Hesam. So we're here to help, we're here to support. Thank you, Twist and I'm sorry to rush through some of these presentations in just of the time.
Great information, Jag. We really appreciate that. We will provide that to our viewers. And I'm glad you put your contact information, because that was going to be one of my questions. I know you're based in Dallas. I don't know if they have a Florida office, or should they contact your office directly?
Florida is our key state, and we work out of the Canadian consulate office in Florida also as well. And definitely connect with us on this. And we, as I said, work with Enterprise Florida with Hesam very closely. And we will definitely, help you connecting with the right people and right agents or right ecosystem, whatever you want.
And I know that real estate is your background. We had talked about that. So it's kind of near and dear to your heart.
Definitely. I think it's really, I've been in real estate almost for over 22 years. That's my background, and it's really a key part for me. And as a realtor, like me, put a hat on as a realtor, we help the economy grow. We help the families. We, kind of help for retirement purposes also. Investments to grow. So we play a key part. As I say, I'm putting a realtor hat on, and it's really a key segment. I think all the realtors should be really proud of it, what they do.
Yeah, excellent. And I mean, you guys are talking from the macro level. The key is how realtors are able to use this information to massage it to grow their business. That will be the key from all this knowledge and information that's been passed on.
That's a good question. So, see, any time when we invest in real estate or we recommend somebody, we always want to know how is the ecosystem look like. Do we know the area? Do we know the location? So especially providing this overview about Ontario, that economic, Ontario is economic powerhouse in Canada, and especially the government initiatives going forward are also bringing a lot of trade and investments. Not only from US, but throughout the world. COVID has impacted us quite a lot. We were not able to travel as much as we should be. But as Twist, you mentioned, I was in Florida about a week and a half ago, and definitely continuing that travel. As we open up the economies here. Lastly, I would definitely will point it out to the realtors, and on both sides of the border, we are on behalf of the government of Ontario planning to bring a trade mission with the premier, with the ministers here, and we'll keep you posted, Twist and Imran, so that we can share that information when it's available, that we can share with their members also.
Excellent. We appreciate that. I know our Global Alliance Committee members would love to participate in that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jag, for being here. We appreciate you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks for your invitation. Take care.
So we're going to switch gears. We're going to come back to Central Florida, and we're going to talk about transportation, because that is a key when professionals are looking to invest here in our market.
Hi, my name is Raquel Asa. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here at Beep, and we're proud to be headquartered in Orlando, Florida, right here in Lake Nona, a 17 square mile planned development that is the test bed for the most advanced autonomous shuttle platforms. There's so much that goes into the safe planning, deployment, and testing of these autonomous vehicles before we have them share the road with you, the public. That's where BEEP plays a crucial role in the safe operation, management, and continuous monitoring of autonomous vehicles as we deploy many of them throughout the state. We ensure that safety touches every aspect of our company, from the type of self-driving shuttle we put on the road, to where we test them in the real world, to how we engage the community, to monitoring the operation inside the vehicle at all times. For more on our company overview and why BEEP decided to lead the autonomous vehicle industry with fixed route and low-speed shuttles on public roads, let's go to our CEO, Joe Moy. Joe, why would you say low-speed shuttles on fixed routes are leading autonomous vehicle testing? And how does BEEP, as an autonomous mobility as a service provider, help advance autonomous vehicle testing and the regulatory front?
So I think the reality of it is most people equate autonomous vehicles to what you read in the proverbial robo-taxi, the anywhere, anytime, any speed type deployments. You know, what people need to understand about the autonomous vehicle marketplace is that these controlled speed, fixed route use cases in a geo-fenced area, what's affectionately called last mile, first mile type deployments, that is where we're really able to put these vehicles into use today, where they're interfacing with pedestrians, they're traversing intersections, they're dealing with bicyclists, other vehicles. The types of obstacles and environments that you're going to face out there on the roadways. And so being able to safely deploy these today in that operating domain is really what we believe is the point of the spear of the testing of autonomous vehicles. And what we're doing is going to really advance the use cases for vehicles across all types of form factors and platforms in the future. On the regulatory front, really important partnerships there, not only with the Florida Department of Transportation and how we're working with them to ensure what we do on the roadways here adhere to all the requirements and regulations here within the state, but as importantly, dealing with the U.S. Department of Transportation and NHTSA specifically, who governs the use of these vehicles. That partnership is so critical to be able to share data and share information on all the learnings that we have out there with every route that we travel and every experience that we have in these vehicles interfacing with what, you know, in any driven scenario, you'd see many situations that you face day in and day out that these vehicles need to learn to adapt to and ultimately respond to very safely in the operation of these platforms. Working together with FDOT and the state in our partnerships with the U.S. Department of Transportation so that we all come to, you know, a common ground on how we're going to have to change at all levels to further advance the use of these platforms. Those are the two things I'd say are most critical.
Hi, welcome to Orlando. I'm Christine Kiefover and I work for Brightline. And here we are at the Brightline station at the Orlando International Airport. Right here, we're at the Orlando Intermodal Facility at the Orlando International Airport. Brightline is excited to be one of the 4 technologies tying the region together from a transit perspective. Here is where we're going to tie into Sunrail in the future. Sunrail is a regional commuter rail project that will connect the region, of which 3 stations reside in Osceola County, including downtown Kissimmee and Poinciana. Brightline's excited to be making a $4.2 billion investment in the state of Florida, looking to provide ways to connect our major metropolitan areas, including our stations that we currently have in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm Beach. We're under construction right now from West Palm Beach to Orlando International Airport. As a matter of fact, next week we're celebrating our 50% milestone in that construction. Our vision also is to connect ultimately to Disney and then on to Tampa. This has been part of Florida's vision for over 2 decades, and we're excited to be a partner in the implementation of this program. Now that we've heard a little bit about the Brightline train system, let's talk about our station. Here we are at Orlando International Airport, where you will be able to take Brightline every hour out of this station, ultimately to any of our current stations that include Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm. And then we're ultimately planning future stations to the west, going to Disney and Tampa. Thank you for taking a couple minutes of your time today to learn a little bit more about Brightline. Our future is bright, and we're so happy to be investing in Florida and look forward to seeing you riding the trains in just a couple years.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be with you. When you think of Orlando International Airport, there are really 3 areas that contribute to the success. One is location. We're in the center of the state with access by major highways. And so the second part is the land. We have sufficient land that we can develop well into the future. And then certainly it's partnerships. We depend on all of the community partners to help us to be successful. So when you look at the land, back to that, and as realtors, I'm sure you'll be interested, we're the 4th largest airport in land mass contiguous in the country. So we can fit all of Miami, all of Los Angeles, all of JFK airports in our footprint with some 12,000 plus acres. And why is that an advantage? As you know, we can build for the future. We don't have to take down cemeteries or neighborhoods in order to have land to develop. One of the other assets when we talk access is rental cars. We have the largest rental car market in the country. And then when we look at access by air, we have more domestic service than any other airport in the state of Florida. We're the largest airport in the state of Florida. And many times people say, oh no, it's Miami, but it's Orlando. Partly because of maybe what you're doing here is attracting people to come and move to this area. So when we look at the impact, a recovery from the impact of COVID, we're very pleased that for the first and second quarter of 2021, we were many times the busiest airport in the country. That doesn't count connecting airports like Chicago or Atlanta. But because of the safety measures that we have in place, we took great measures in robust cleaning, in information that would identify what is required, in following federal regulations like wearing masks, etc. We're seeing a return. 93 of our concessions have returned. Our parking lots are filling. In fact, this past Mother's Day, it was the second busiest time that we've had since COVID impact. Easter was even busier, so we are seeing people return. When we look at what happened, U.S. destinations pre-COVID was 91. We're now back to 90. International destinations were 54. We're now at 20. Airlines overall, we had 33 airlines, and now we have 26. So all the measures that we're taking, from vending machines to information, have all led us, I think, to a build of confidence. And there is a pent-up demand, and that was recognized in the Easter and Mother's Day traffic that we experienced. We have new destinations that are coming in. One of the most exciting ones was we got nonstop service to Hawaii. Now, that's not an international destination, but it's a long-haul flight. It's 9 hours, and to see that service come in during the pandemic and see it be successful is certainly a sign that people want to travel again. We still are looking for transatlantic international service, and that's based on regulations both from our government and from their government. But the announcement is that we plan and we hope that we'll get international service again in June. Canadian service, we're seeing a return Air Canada returned in May 8th with flights to Toronto. Air Transit has a tentative resumption schedule for June 14th, and WestJet has a tentative resumption date of July 5th. Canada is one of our most important markets. In fact, it reigns first in our international markets. So we are really excited. So when I talked about the connections, that's very important in terms of our being able to see more people come to this area with more options, and certainly it leads to the economic activity that many of you probably will realize. The South Terminal, we've talked about it since this facility opened in 1981. I said to you with the land, we know where we're going. It's a matter of when. And the when is now. We're building now a 15-gate South Terminal or Terminal C facility that will open next year. Key to it is when we talked about that sense of place. It's when international passengers arrive, they'll pick up their baggage on the same floor that they arrive on. As you know, before you had to go down. Most places you have to go down to pick up your baggage. You won't have to do that here. We're looking at innovation. We're looking at even flow and efficiency. All of that leading to what we have called earlier the Orlando experience. We know that, and we remain a popular airport for this community, for this region, for this country, but that has to be done with the customer in mind, whether it's safety, security, health measures that are put in place. We want to be the beginning of the Orlando, and that Orlando extends to our entire region experience. As we said, pre-COVID, we had 51 million passengers. Now we're trailing 25 plus million and wanting that number to move up very quickly, we hope. But that only happens with partnerships. We talked about partnerships. So when we look at what's in the future, we want Orlando International to continue to provide a great gateway experience. We kind of call it global sophistication and Southern hospitality. It all adds to giving passengers and visitors a true Orlando experience.
Exciting new transportation projects right here in Central Florida. Okay, before we move on to our next segment, we have another door prize. This is going to be a $50 MasterCard gift card. And the lucky winner is Mauricio Suarez. So Mauricio, congratulations. We'll be in contact to get you that gift card. We're fortunate today to have with us a vital industry partner, Magic Development, and their CEO, Hector Lizasuain. Before I have an informal chat with Hector, we want to show you a quick video about their development.
Hi, my name is Hector Lizasuain, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Magic Companies Group, the parent company of Magic Village Yards and Magic Village Views, vacation rental communities located in the heart of the Central Florida Tourism District. Located in the #1 family destination in the world and positioned close to our international airport and an amazing transportation network, Magic Village by Pininfarina is positioned for all your real estate needs. With the success of Magic Village Yards, where we sold 180 units within 12 months, and the success of Magic Village Views, where we sold 196 units in 16 months, we decided to embark on our biggest project yet, Magic Village by Pininfarina. 468 luxury style homes located right here in the Central Florida market. For more information, go to our website at magicdevelopment.com.
So Hector Lizasuain is with us today. Hi, Hector.
Hey, thank you for having me.
I always like to introduce Hector. You see, we have the same last name. It's no coincidence. He is my father. Do you see that gray hair on top of his head? Yeah, he doesn't always admit to it, but it's all right.
That joke never gets old.
Yeah, I've only told it like a gazillion times. So
Right, but it's great.
I'm glad you
They
laugh
laugh.
every time. You're probably the only one laughing right now, and that's
No,
okay.
there's other people in the office. They heard it and they're laughing.
Yeah, they're probably not laughing. They've heard
Good
it a
job.
million times too. We're glad to have you, Hector. We're glad to have you as a vital industry partner, a VIP here at the association. That means that you want to help realtors grow their business. And we appreciate your sponsorship today too. I saw in the video the beautiful views of the property, and that is the 5-night stay that you're giving away to a Canadian later today, right?
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it.
So go ahead and tell us a little bit about your developments and what you're doing at Magic Development.
Well, as most people know, Central Florida is the #1 family destination in the world. We're positioned just minutes away from Disney. The vacation rental market and the vacation rental product is more of an investment type product when it comes to the real estate industry. So what we have like these luxury style homes. They're designed by Design 407, a Brazilian designer that has designed over 250 luxury hotels in Brazil, multiple hotels in Dubai, and throughout the world. And so we had one development, which was Magic Village Yards. We sold 188 units in 12 months. This was back in 2014-15. That's when the exchange rate in Brazil was about 3.1 to the dollar. It was 100% sold to Brazilian market. And then with the success of that, we went ahead and moved forward with Magic Village Views, 196 luxury style units which we sold in about 14 to 16 months. And that was kind of like a mix. That was like 80% Brazilian and 20% Chinese market. And now we just launched Magic Village by Pininfarina, 468 luxury style units designed by Paolo Pininfarina, who designs Ferrari, and a lot of other things that if you look them up. And we've created a great partnership right here in the Central Florida market. And it's something that we're decided to expand on with Magic Place. It's a mixed-use development with about 300,000 square feet of retail that'll be attached to that project. So we're doing quite a bit here. And again, everybody knows the Central Florida real estate market is exploding. It's crazy right now, even with the pandemic.
So have you started on the project? Do you have some homes that are already being constructed, or when do you anticipate complete?
We've actually started the first 76 units, phase 1 of Magic Village by Pininfarina. We've already platted and pulled the permits for phase 2 and 3, which is an additional 130 units. The first 76 units are scheduled to be completed in the next 6 to 10 months with the clubhouse. So that's something that we're moving on right now. And we're also negotiating some hotel deals in the front part in the retail section. But again, the market's amazing right now. And it's something that we share when we travel. About a year ago, we were just pre-pandemic. We were in China explaining a lot of what Hesam and Arron and everyone else has shared with all the growth and development that we have here at the federal, state, and local level, with I-4 expansion at about $2.3 billion expansion, the airport at about a $2.7 billion expansion. We're positioned as the next gateway city here in the United States. And the great thing is we're still affordable, compared to your Miami, New York, Los Angeles. These are the comparisons we make when we're making our presentations around the world.
So you're finding that a lot of investors are coming to this area and purchasing as short-term rentals, vacation homes? Are they actually living down here as well? What are you seeing?
Actually, the way our product is positioned, it's really an investment product. It's almost like a hotel. It's a home with hotel amenities and services. So we do get quite a bit. Probably our largest market is definitely domestic, but we have a huge Canadian following, especially those that get tired and they get that cabin fever in January, February. They can't deal with the cold. They come down here and they'll stay, 30, 40 days, depending on the weather in Canada. So I love the term Sharon used earlier, the swelterbirds. I've never heard it and I love it. I'm going to use it all the time now.
Yeah, we all learn something, didn't we?
Hector, One of the main concerns of investors is occupancy. What type of occupancy you've been seeing in your developments recently?
Well, I'll tell you right now. So pre-pandemic, we have a tourist development tax that is collected in the tourism industry, or a bed tax, that you have different names for it. It was 50% hotels and 50% vacation rental units collecting those taxes. Now, during the pandemic, it's about 72% vacation rentals, and it's probably mixing right in there about 17-18% for hotels. So what we've seen is, with the increase, or with the pandemic, and this is without any of the travel bans being lifted, and especially in the Latin American market, our occupancy for the last 8 weeks is probably pushing right around 85% to about 100% for both of our resorts. But I think that's just the supply and demand. People feel safer in a house than they do in a hotel. And that's nothing negative against hotels. That's just because the market dictates that. So what we're starting to see a lot more interest in that. This is basically, we're working off the drive market right now. But right before this whole pandemic, we were probably pushing right around 60%, 70% average throughout the year, and that doesn't count the peaks or holidays, summer break, spring break. So yeah, the occupancy is good, but it all comes down to the product as well.
That's true. A lot of people who go on vacation now are moving away from the hotels, obviously because of the comfort and the fact that they can pretty much share a property, even split the cost, and have a couple of families come and stay on that vacation and make it more cost effective.
They do, absolutely. You can tell. It's funny because a lot of people, when they come and they stay at our units, one of the things, the only complaint we really ever get is from moms, housewives, when they come to the house and they see a laundry room in the house. It is a house, but they say, look, I didn't come on vacation to do laundry. So that's weird that we get that complaint. But again, it just gives you that home feel. We're minutes from everything, shopping. A lot of people don't realize, being located here in Central Florida, we're like an hour from one beach and an hour and 20 minutes from the other beach, from the West Coast and East Coast. So, we're conveniently located to take advantage of all the things that Florida has to offer.
And in terms of the amenities that you have at that resort, what type of amenities you have?
Oh, so again, this is not your typical vacation rental community. Our vacation rental community has front desk check-in 24/7, concierge service, transportation. We have restaurants at both locations, pools, gym. It's a full service resort, just with all the amenities. So picture a subdivision with all that in the middle of it.
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Hector. We appreciate your membership here at the association, you participating in the event. And as a bonus, Hector is throwing in, for that lucky Canadian who's going to win the 5-night stay, a $200 food voucher at the Bellagio, which is a restaurant on site. I've been there, it's fabulous. So you're gonna love it. So if you're a Canadian and you're still on the call, please stay with us till the very end. You have to be here in order to win, but we do want to thank both Hector and Magic Development. They're great community partners and we appreciate all you do.
Thank you for all you do. Great job today.
Thank you.
So our last presenter today is with RBC Bank. He's also going to serve as a panelist, so we can ask him some financial questions as well. But Arron Seymour is Senior Cross-Border Mortgage Advisor with RBC Bank and a true mortgage professional, truly dedicated to Canadian clients at RBC Bank for more than 3 years. Arron has 20 years of experience in US banking and mortgage business. He works with Elaine Forget's team. We love Elaine. Yeah. He was with us up in Canada. And he wasn't able to make it today, but he sent Arron, and I know he's going to do a great job of presenting information from RBC Bank. So thank you so much, Arron, for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, Twist. I appreciate that. Give you a little background. RBC Bank was originated by the Royal Bank of Canada, one of the largest banks in the world and the largest bank in Canada. About 20 years ago, they put us together to assist Canadians who had banking needs in the US. As you know, A lot of our Canadians clients will spend significant amounts of time and money here in the States. And so my department was developed to help with real estate financing. So we offer mortgages to Canadians, primarily folks looking to buy residential properties that they're going to use themselves, or residential properties they may want to rent out as a investment piece as well. We help in many different ways. We have many different programs, and I'd like to share a little bit about that with you now. If you would go ahead and share my screen for me. All right, so why choose RBC Bank? So we are a national lender dedicated to Canadians. We lend in all 50 states and the United States and the District of Columbia. Are you seeing my screen? I'm sorry.
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. Again, we are the largest bank in Canada, so there's significant brand recognition with our Canadian clients. We help U.S. real estate professionals grow your business with Canadians, and we are a top business partner of Florida Realtors. We have been doing business in Florida for quite some time, and in fact, Florida is our most popular state where we do most of our business in the state of Florida. According to the National Association of Realtors, a study from July of 2020, Canadians were the second largest group of foreign buyers in the U.S. During that time frame. They invested over almost $10 billion between April 2019 and March 2020. They're working on more current data, but that's the most recent we have. Half of that was invested in Florida. Almost $4.75 billion worth of real estate was purchased in Florida between April of 2019 and March of 2020. This represents almost over 18,000 residential purpose transactions at an average of about $520,000 per purchase. So you can see Canadian buyers are a significant marketplace, and we're here to assist with them. Now, one of the unique challenges for international borrowers when it comes to purchasing real estate in the U.S. is foreign exchange. The U.S. dollar is fairly strong right now worldwide, but in particular, when it comes to comparison of Canadian dollar, we tend to be a little bit stronger. In 2020, we averaged about 78 cents US per each Canadian dollar. The forecast for 2021 is about 70 cents to the dollar. In 2022, it's good. The US dollar looks to increase a little bit more in strength versus the Canadian dollar. So that's an important consideration for our clients to keep in mind, because the longer they wait and the less they put down, the more expensive the properties become relative to their income source. So to kind of illustrate that, if our clients were looking at a $400,000 purchase, US dollar purchase, if they decided they wanted to pay in cash, with the exchange rates now, that would cost them about $528,000 Canadian, if you include closing costs as well as the cash to purchase the property as well. However, if they decided to finance with RBC Bank by putting 20% down and paying closing costs, that'd be about $119,000 in Canadian. So right up front, it's about $100,000 difference in the savings that they would experience by financing as opposed to paying cash. So you can see right there, it's a significant opportunity for us to assist our clients with their financial well-being by offering the service to them. Now, RBC Bank offers several options for financing. We will finance owner-occupied properties, both primary residences or vacation homes. We do offer pre-approvals in a couple of different formats. We have a very simple online pre-approval application that you can utilize, or we can do a fully underwritten pre-approval as well. We do require 20% down on owner-occupied properties, and we will finance a wide variety of properties, single-family homes, condos, townhomes. So we're very willing to help in just about any situation for our clients. Because our primary client is a Canadian, we have structured our loan terms to mirror what's available in Canada. So in Canada, what they would refer to as a fixed rate mortgage, we might refer to as an adjustable rate mortgage in the US. We offer 4 different terms of 3, 5, 7, or 10-year fixed. in which during that term, the interest rate is fixed. And then what we offer unique to us in the States is when those terms mature, our clients are able to renew and lock in another rate for another term of 3, 5, 7, or 10 years, completely free, no cost. They don't have to refinance or reapply. They're just modifying their loan a little bit to keep the same 30-year amortization period. Our loans are based on a 30-year amortization, which is a little bit different from what our Canadian borrowers are used to, but most loans in Canada are amortized over 20 years. We offer, again, financing in the form of purchase transactions, but also refinances as well. And we don't charge a foreign national premium. So our clients get the best rates available right from the get-go. We don't mark that up at all. We do also offer investment property mortgages. Again, our primary client is a client looking to purchase a residential property. So we don't do a lot of loans for professional real estate investors, but somebody who's looking to buy a home on the side so they can earn some additional income. Again, we'll offer pre-approvals on those. The down payment requirement for an investment property is dependent on our client's credit strength. We'll finance somewhere between 60 and 75%. So the down payment requirement again would be 25 to 40% down, depending on the client's strength. All else being equal, we offer the same terms: 3, 5, 7, and 10-year fixed rate mortgages or adjustable rate mortgages. They can renew at the end of those terms. Our amortization schedule is 30 years on those as well. And we will also offer to refinance existing investment properties if it meets the client's financial needs. Some of the benefits of a mortgage with us, with RBC Bank. One is a key benefit is that we're able to access our Canadian borrowers' credit history in Canada. So our borrowers have established a lifetime of good credit scores. We can help them take advantage of that and obtain a mortgage here in the U.S. We finance in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. So it's a one-stop shop. They come to us and we can help them purchase multiple properties if they are interested in multiple states. We have a staff dedicated who works exclusively with Canadians. Our borrower is, again, a Canadian looking to spend some time in the U.S., perhaps snowbird, and they're tired of digging themselves out of the snow. So March, April timeframe, we get a lot of inquiries with folks wanting to spend their summers in a much warmer environment. And once again, we never charge a foreign national premium. Our own bank fees are very low. We quote our rates at par. We don't charge points on our loans for the most part. So we really do what we can to make the situation and the cost as low as possible for our borrowers. So right now, it's a great time to buy. Rates are still historically low in the U.S. For a limited time through the end of June, we're offering to waive our own underwriter fee, typically an $825 fee. We're waiving that through the end of June. We also have a no fee, low fee HELOC special. So our home equity line of credits, we are offering to pay all the closing costs except for any state or fees or taxes. So the clients really are saving a couple $1,000s on setting a home equity line together. So it's a great time to inquire, great time to look to purchase or even restructure that you might have on existing properties in the U.S. Now, we've also developed a special tool for realtors and what we call our cross-border real estate edge program. The tool helps realtors understand the needs of Canadian borrowers buying real estate in the U.S. Tools and resources keep the sale moving forward. So ongoing educational articles and tools as well to help inform realtors on the special needs of Canadian borrowers. The website to find that is rbc.com/edge or rbc.com/edge/Canada. It's a great tool. Again, you can sign up for updates. You're also able to follow that and utilize the tools that you wish to use at any point.
Great. Thank you so much, Arron. That was really good information. And you are also part of our panel. We're running a little short on time, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce the panelists, and we've got some questions.
Okay.
We wanted to make sure we had a broad range of topics, so we brought everybody. Ana Luisa Lantigua is Accounting and Tax Services with SBC-cpa. She has over 15 years of accounting, audit, financial analysis, and management experience in both private and public accounting. Her expertise encompasses consulting with foreign individuals who need an ITIN and have FERPTA concerns or want to open a business in the U.S. Ana Luisa received her bachelor's in business administration from City University of New York, and she's currently licensed in both New York and Florida. You'd already met Arron, who's on our panel. Another panelist we have is David Altro. David is a Florida attorney, Canadian legal advisor, and foreign legal consultant. He's been practicing law for more than 35 years, and he's authored 2 books, Owning U.S. Property the Canadian Way and Americans Living in Canada, Smile, the IRS is Watching You. Love that title. He is a special contributor to the Globe and Mail and frequently presents at legal and tax conferences. We had the pleasure of having David participate in our in-person Canadian trade mission in 2019. Lindsay Hall Harrison is with Stewart Title. She serves as the underwriting counsel. She handles title insurance matters globally, including across Canada. She has previously served as associate general counsel for a national mortgage lender, owned and managed her own boutique real estate law firm and title company, and represented lenders and servicers in real estate matters across Florida. Lindsay is also an elected official on the city council for the city of Maitland. And a fun fact here, she was born in Toronto, Ontario, and emigrated as a teenager here to Florida. We're happy to have her. And then of course you had met Hesam with Enterprise Florida. So that's our panel today. I know Emma and I have some questions. If you all have some questions, please type those into chat and we'd be more than happy to have our panelists answer them.
Excellent. So we can start with Lindsay. Hi, Lindsay. Basically, can you explain to what is title insurance, especially for Canadians who are looking to purchase property here and they're not aware of what that is?
Sure, actually, well, the good news is that Canada has title insurance just the same as the United States, and Stewart Title does operate in Canada as a title insurer. Briefly, nobody knows what title insurance is, so it's not a Canadian versus US thing. Nobody knows what we do. But briefly, what title insurance does is it provides a financial guarantee that the property that you are purchasing has clear title going into the past. So we do a conclusive search of the title record for the particular property. We try to determine the ownership and encumbrances against the property, and then we insure over top of any encumbrances that we feel we can mitigate going forward. If there is an issue with title, we try to eliminate and remove those possibilities of problems coming up after the closing. But in general, title insurance will insure for a future issue if it arises based on a past title marketability concern. So if we can't eliminate the issue during the title insurance process prior to closing, if something comes up after the fact, your title insurance policy will either cover the cost to get the title cleared or to mitigate the damages for the value of the insurance. So the good news is that when you invest in property with title insurance, you will not lose your investment. So it'll either help you to make sure that your investment is clear, or you will be reimbursed for the cost of up to the amount of the policy.
And who generally pays for that?
Well, it depends. It is actually, some places it's buyer pays for it, other places it's seller pays for it. In Florida, it actually goes both ways, depending on whether or not you're using the South Florida or Sarasota convention, where the buyer pays for their title insurance premium, or in the rest of Florida, where the seller pays for the owner's policy. The buyer will always pay for the lender's policy if their lender is requiring a title policy, but typically the seller will pay for the owner's policy since they're the ones insuring forward with the clear title.
Thank you.
So Lindsay, could you briefly describe what it takes place during the closing process, maybe from the point of clear to close?
Sure. The first thing that a title insurance agent is going to need when they receive to get started is they need to have the purchase contract. So they need to have information about the buyers and the sellers. They need to have information about the property that's going to be conveyed. And then the title insurance agent will go to work ordering a title search and will review the back chain of title to make sure that everything that arrives in one big document tells us, are there any existing mortgages on the property? Do we have any liens that we need to worry about? And it will give a full picture of the title of the property. That's when the title agent will then work with the lender and the realtor to help to make sure that the parties are coming to the table with all the information that they need. If there's an encumbrance search that needs to be done for municipal liens, that will be ordered during the process as well. And everything, it ideally works towards the fact that at the end of the day, when you have the buyer and the seller either virtually at the table together or actually physically in the room closing, marketability of title has been determined and the buyer and seller have agreed on all of the terms and conditions of the sale. Those are the conveyance is going from seller to buyer with clear title, and a deed is being executed and recorded in the name of the purchaser.
Great. So Anna is a CPA, and so Anna, we cannot talk about foreign nationals without talking about FIRPTA and other tax-related issues. Can you talk a little bit about how these type of taxes affect the Canadian buyers or sellers?
Well, the FIRPTA affects not just the Canadian buyers, but all foreign buyers. FIRPTA is technically a law that was put into place to kind of force foreign investors to pay the tax on the sale. And sometimes it's very taxing. Now, one of the things that most people want to know is, how can I avoid FIRPTA? Okay. And I think that for this, for today, I think might be something to discuss because it's really the first thing on a foreign buyer. How can I avoid FIRPTA? And many of us think it's unavoidable. And the truth is that if you buy property in the US and you create a partnership, you can avoid FIRPTA at the closing, okay? That doesn't mean that the foreign individual avoids the tax. It's just not withheld at the closing. Partnerships are subject to a different tax, a different withholding, and so forth. So a lot of foreigners decide to incorporate in the US in order to buy property because of the FIRPTA. But in order for you to have a partnership, you have to have more than one owner. So one person buyer will be subject to FIRPTA, even if they incorporate and open an LLC. So again, that's one way to avoid FIRPTA, but FIRPTA is 15% of the selling price, which for simple numbers, if we were selling something for $100,000, the FIRPTA withholding would be $15,000. And you can multiply that by whatever the selling price is, which can be very taxing on the moment of sale. So as far as FIRPTA, it's been around for a long time. Whether you're Canadian or whether you're from South America or the UK, you're subject to FIRPTA if you buy property in the US in your personal name. Or anything else you would like to know about FIRPTA?
What happens if someone sells a home, a foreigner that is, and they do not have enough from the proceeds to pay that FIRPTA?
Okay, so if you, for example, let's say you purchase this property for $100,000 and now you're selling it for the same $100,000, but you have no gain on this sale, there is something called FIRPTA exemption where you can apply to reduce the amount of the FIRPTA withholding with the IRS. It's a process. It's like a separate tax return where you have to prove to the IRS that you are not really making $15,000 to even pay the IRS the $15,000. So it's called FERPTA exemption. Now, in the past, the IRS had a FERPTA unit, but with all their budget cuts and so forth, the FERPTA unit was one of those that kind of disappeared. And what happened is the IRS kind of created, kind of delegated the FERPTA activity to the business department within the IRS. That has caused an immense amount of delays with the IRS in getting the FERPTA exemptions. Also, when the money goes to the IRS for FERPTA withholding, them returning the documentation is taking much longer. Now, that was happening prior to COVID. Now, COVID just extended that. It's taking, I would say, maybe 6 months for the IRS easy to respond on a FERPTA exemption. So that is something to keep in mind when buying in the US, especially in these times, that may be incorporating and creating a partnership if it's more than one owner, might be the route to go. Now, it doesn't have its drawbacks. It doesn't mean that you don't have a tax to pay. It's just that it doesn't go to the IRS. It basically is the money stays at the partnership, and then when you distribute the money from the partnership level, then the partnership is supposed to do withholding and remit it to the IRS prior to making distributions to the owners. However, if the owners are going to take that money and just reinvest it, then obviously there is no tax submittal at that point, just as a point of filing the tax return. So things are changing at the government level with FERPTA. Before, filing an exemption was not a big issue. The FERPTA unit responded in less than 90 days, but now we are seeing that the FERPTA unit is responding on requests from September of last year, and we're just getting the responses now. So it's taking them way longer to get a response, which then puts more responsibility on title companies that are holding the funds in escrow while the IRS is, and I see Lindsay shaking her head, puts more responsibility on title companies that are holding this FERPTA money. There's also large penalties if the FERPTA money is not remitted to the IRS within 21 days of them making this determination. And because of everything that is going on, mail gets lost, delayed, and so forth. And try dealing with the IRS with a department that really doesn't exist. That is a recipe for disaster. And that's really what I've seen in the last, I would say, 16 months with the IRS and FERPTA. So one of the ways to avoid it is, if possible, creating a partnership in the US also has its drawbacks. So, it's not all like rosy and so forth. But in the past, I would always explain to clients that opening in an LLC might not be the best way, because now you have more than one tax return to file. But with everything that is going on in the last 18 months, it's, the recommendation is changing. So something that probably wasn't recommended, let's say maybe 4 years ago, now with everything that we're seeing, buying property in the US in a partnership name, if that is, husband and wife creating a partnership to buy real estate, would probably be the way to go. It just makes selling easier. FERPTA kind of gets eliminated because partnerships are subject to a different withholding, so it doesn't tie up a closing. There's still tax. What is the drawback of buying a foreigner, whether Canadian or someone from Mexico or Venezuela or the UK? This really applies to foreign investors. What is the benefit? I've just told you, the FERPTA process kind of gets eliminated. You're subject to a different withholding that you control. you control when you send the money and so forth to the government. But what are the drawbacks? You have to incorporate in the US. You have to, if you're creating a Florida partnership, you have to do an annual report. You need a registered agent. You have an annual tax return at the partnership level and then at the individual level. So the administration on an annual basis is a little more complex and more expensive, but then the FERPTA process is much smoother. And in the past, because of the expense and the multiple tax returns, it was kind of a toss-up. But nowadays, with what's going on with the IRS and, not really getting, fast response, title companies having to hold the monies for sometimes 8 months before they remit it to the IRS, and then the taxpayer has to file a tax return, ask for the money from the IRS. That is creating a lot of issues that I've seen.
Thank you so much, Anna. We appreciate that. It sounds like we need a whole seminar just for you and CPA issues. That's a lot of detailed information. I want to switch gears here. I'm going to go back to Arron. We appreciate your presentation. You probably covered most of this in it, but I wanted you to talk specifically about the key benefits for Canadian investors if they're going to work with RBC.
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. So, a key benefit, one of the most vital things that we offer is we understand your Canadian background. We understand your financials. We're able to work with the credit scores and the credit that you developed in Canada. Our parent company is the largest bank in Canada. So a lot of our clients do have a relationship there as well. So we're able to partner with our colleagues in Canada to get even a background and even get some of your documentation with their assistance. So we just are able to do things in a manner a little different than some of our American competitors. We structure our files in a way that's familiar to our borrowers as Canadians, and we really ensure that as we onboard new advisors, we're given special training to understand the Canadian perspective. Their mortgage process is not regulated the same way we are, so the whole process for them is a little different coming in, and it can be a little bit intimidating coming to a different country. So we have the ability to kind of understand and walk them through that because we have almost exclusive experience in dealing with Canadians. We really don't finance a lot of American clients unless they're related to a Canadian and they're part of that transaction. So we spend all of our time really getting a good understanding of what your needs are and how we can kind of make a crossover to the US here. And then we also have the backend, as I mentioned, of a large financial institution that can offer other solutions to make not just the home buying process easier, but the home ownership process easier. Solutions to move funds from Canada to the US, to develop other forms of credit to pay for expenses such as credit cards and other credit lines. So we really have a very inclusive solution to our clients. We've also developed a lot of partnerships with other entities, specifically with insurance agents that can kind of make the whole, again, process of owning that home a little simpler, not just buying that home.
Great. Thank you so much, Arron. We appreciate that.
And, Anna touched on some points there that I think David is very apt at discussing. I know the last time we met, we had spoken about, the best ways for Canadians to take, properties here in the US. And you had mentioned that the limited partnership is better than the LLC and stuff like that. So David, can you talk a little bit in that light?
Okay, I guess that's David as David showed me, right?
That is correct.
So I'm a Florida attorney, over 35 years, and a Canadian, also a Canadian legal advisor. I'm managing partner in our law firm, and we have offices in Florida and in Toronto and Montreal. And we specialize in representing Canadians with respect to U.S. real estate, whether it's buying, selling, or any other aspects. So, okay. Maybe I have my thing flipped.
Possibly. If you hit the start video button at the bottom.
Yeah, no, I've done that. So that's my background, and that's all good, but I don't see why. I've never had a problem, and I do Zoom all day long. So anyway, there's various ways of owning U.S. real estate, and we have a bunch of ways that are great for American residents and are not good for Canadians. And one of the ways that is not good for Canadians is in a limited liability company, LLC. LLCs are fantastic. They're great. Americans, residents use them all the time, and we love it for our Americans. Canada does not have LLCs. And what happens is a Canadian who buys a property in the States in an LLC ends up, when it's time to pay capital gain tax, in double taxation, pay to the States, pay to Canada, and get no credit in Canada for what you pay in the States. So LLCs are the worst way for Canadians to buy. Using corporations like US C Corps, or also, we're not recommending that. S Corps are not available to Canadians. And even using Ontario Corps is not the way to go. And the reason is tax rates are higher, especially with what President Biden is coming down with, probably under his new family's plan that's going to go into effect maybe January 1st, 2022. So corp tax rates are high. And Canada taxes the shareholders of a Canadian company who own US property personally for the use of the property. And if you have, you buy a $1 million property in Florida and you're using it personally, but you put it in a Canadian company, you're going to have tax on the value of the use of it, i.e. rental value, even though there isn't any. So we like limited partnerships, we like trusts, and those are effective ways.
Great. Thank you so much. We did have a question in the chat. It's from Peggy. I'm not sure who wants to answer this question, but it's, what are the tax implications for Canadian buyers purchasing residential property?
So I think it probably, because I'm a cross-border tax lawyer, might be me that might be the one who answers that, if that sounds appropriate. So when a Canadian buys US real estate, if it's personal use, there's no tax because there's no income. But if they rent it out, then they have to file US income tax returns. Typically it's forms 1040 NRs, and also declare the income in Canada. We always try to have our clients own the property so that whatever tax is paid in the States is a foreign tax credit in Canada under the treaty, so there's no dreaded double taxation. If a Canadian sells US real estate, there's capital gain tax, okay? And again, whatever the tax that you have to pay to the IRS on the gain, typically 20%, is going to be a credit against the tax you pay to Canada, because you still have to pay tax to Canada because you're a Canadian resident. So no double taxation if you do it right. The elephant in the room is really the US estate tax. And this is where we really specialize in trying to help our Canadian clients, high net worth Canadians, so that when they pass away, there's no US estate tax. And the US estate tax rules are rapidly changing. And we anticipate that when Biden's new plan comes into effect, that Canadians who have a worldwide estate over $5 or $5.5 million and own US real estate may very likely have a large US estate tax on death if there's no planning. So we have special kinds of trusts and LPs, limited partnerships, that we use for Canadians to hold US real estate to avoid death tax on the US side. And also, lastly, Florida probate. We don't like it. It's an expensive and hassle for Canadian families whose family members pass away. So again, generally speaking, we do not recommend owning property in your names personally.
Great. Thank you so much, David. I'm going to switch back over to Hesam and ask about relocation. How does Enterprise Florida help companies with relocation?
Thank you, Tris. Certainly. So, it's one of the services that we offer, obviously working with our partners such as yourselves and other folks in the state. So if a company is looking at relocating some of its executives, some of its staff in Canada to Florida, we make sure that they get embedded into the local network in the county and the city that they're in. They work with the realtors in that area to find their team suitable houses. So again, it's part of our job. We want to make sure that those folks who land in Florida obviously have a place to stay, find a suitable place, and then put them in touch with the relevant partners that we work with. And again, there's a reason folks are flocking to Florida. There's a reason that we've seen in the past 6-7 months at least an influx of companies leaving New York and California to come to New York. It's obviously because of the lower living costs, the lower costs of doing business, and the great assets on the ground with regards to real estate. And we also work with, in Canada at least, we work with real estate developers both on the commercial and the residential side who are looking to sort of work in the Floridian market, and we put them in touch with partners. We provide them support so they can do similar work as they do in Canada here in Florida as well.
Great, thank you, Hesam.
Okay, so Lindsay, recently I had a closing with a Canadian client that was a nightmare. They couldn't fly in to close. They couldn't get appointments at the US Embassy. And, the title company didn't want to use Arron, okay? How are we able to get around something like that? Or, I know that Canadian notaries are not recognized in America. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So you kind of have a lot of issues there compacted together into that one question. So let me start at the top with remote online notarizations are a very difficult issue currently outside of the United States and outside of the state of Florida, because in order to use RON, which is the acronym for it, in order to use remote online notarization in a transaction, there has to be, under Florida law, the ability to do a knowledge-based authentication for an individual. And in order to be able to get that, it's credential analysis, which is done by accessing the Social Security database. So we can only use a RON, which is a remote transaction. We can only do that if we're working with a US citizen or a permanent resident who has a Social Security card and can be verified through that process. So it does make foreign transactions in Florida very difficult if we're dealing with foreign buyers and sellers, especially during COVID, because US embassies around the world are still closed. So it does make it difficult. In Canada, luckily, we do have notaries public. So depending on the province, we can accept a notary public to acknowledge a deed or a mortgage in a virtual closing a remote closing situation where it's still a paper transaction. What we do need to do is we need to do additional levels of verification, though, because we have a situation where an apostille is not possible if we are dealing with an apostille is necessary if we are under the Hague Treaty. But in that case, if we are not, then we have to have a witness verification that comes from the notary authenticating that their notary stamp is actually legitimate and authentic from the government that they are authorized. This does not present a problem with most provinces. Saskatchewan is a great one. Notaries public are recognized to do and authorized to act in the same way that a Florida notary is. I have accepted notaries from Ontario before. Where we get into a little bit of difficulty is with Quebec. Because civil law controls in Quebec, so a civil notary is a different thing than a notary public. And so although Quebec does have notaries public, you have to find one and they're much more difficult to locate. So David would be a great resource for that, because I did check on his website and he is a notary public. So and so in Quebec, that would be an option. The other concern is that if we are dealing with a closing of paperwork that is coming from across the border, we know that we've also had closing issues with getting those documents to closing on time. So when we have a remote closing situation, one of the things that is highly suggested is if you can have a power of attorney executed before the closing and you have a local on the ground in Florida who can execute your documents for you, that will simplify and expedite the closing process. So there's a lot of concerns when you're dealing with foreign investors in Florida. We have a lot of them. Everybody comes from around the world to buy and sell property in Florida. But these are issues that need to be brought up immediately while the property is being identified and before you're under contract, because it's going to take some period of time while the closing process is working its way through to be able to make sure that when people are ready to go to the closing table, that they have all of the ability to sign the documents and that everything is ready to be executed and it can be done properly using a notary.
Great, thank you so much, Lindsay. And we have some great questions, an excellent panel. Unfortunately, we're out of time. We went over our time and we appreciate those that actually stayed with us until the bitter end. We do want to thank our panelists. If you have additional questions, please feel free to forward them to us. We'll forward them to the panel. We'll make sure that you get their contact information as well so that you can reach out to them directly. So we have 2 more drawings before we go today. The last $50 drawing is for an American Express gift card. We'll go ahead and get that on the screen. And the lucky winner is going to be Holly Wolfer. She is on our board of directors and she also serves on our Global Alliance Committee. So congratulations, Holly. We hope you're still here because you just won a $50 gift card for American Express. And now the minute that the Canadians have been waiting for, our grand prize. It is a 5-night stay here at a Magic Development property. It's a Wyndham Hotel property, or it says a hotel.
Plus $200.
Plus $200 for food, because you got to eat while you're here, right? So we're going to go ahead and draw that lucky winner. Johnston. That's an easy name. I thought I was going to have a hard name to pronounce. So Johnston from Canada, congratulations. We will be in touch with you in order to get you your gift. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating. It was great information. Again, we will be posting this on our YouTube site. It's Osceola Realtors. You can look for it as early as next Monday. If you would like to reach out to any of the panelists, we will also follow up with all of our attendees to make sure that you have their contact information as well. We have a lot of follow-ups to do from this, don't we, Imran?
Sure do.
We could actually segue and take different portions of today and make them additional segments for us. So thank you all for being here again. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you all.